Hi guys, this is Michelle Fix It. Oh, today is June 20th, 2023. We're, oh man. Okay, so seriously guys, you're giving me a lot of connectivity issues. This is very frustrating. I'm gonna have to actually pull over because you guys are so special. Oh, is it because you guys want to be there? Because there's like this little recess right there? Ow! Alright, well maybe you guys will stay there. It does make you more centered. Good grief. This is ridiculous. Alright, so you're kind of wedged in. It makes it where I can't see myself. You can kind of like get a bird's eye view of the trailblazer. So anyways, we are on our way back to Patterson, as in you and me. No one was in Georgetown. Crazy cat lady, when I called her back, she was letting me know that like baby Hulk did not wake up. He was not doing special baby Hulk stuff with his bits. Oh man, I need to mail those cards. Daddy Cat Dog, if you ever watch my shows, I've had your Father's Day card for a while, and I'm just a bad cat because I didn't have stamps. And I know you love me enough where you're like, where's my card, Michelle? And it's like, it's coming, Daddy, I promise. I've literally had it for over 2 weeks, and it's now past Father's Day because of stamps. But I did find the stamps. I did put the stamps in the card box that I talked about in Manassas. I have one in Baltimore. I've been dragging it all over the place. I feel so bad for this guy that's like walking around in the rain. Wants to get a little bit more comfy. I mean, I don't know. I'm not the I'm not the one that picks up people in the middle of the rain kind of person. But I am the person that stops if you have car issues. Like there is a little car that needs some issues, and like the guy texts me. Oh, I should probably like shoot him a text. I think I made a video about his stuff. I don't know. Probably, maybe. I'll have to look. Because they gave my business card. Because he had been there for like 4 hours, 4.5 hours or something. And I'm hoping that he figured out what was going on with his Mini Cooper. He had a Mini Cooper. And it just like stopped working on him. And I was all excited about troubleshooting. Like that's the kind of person I'm like, oh look, there's a problem. I'm excited. Let me fix it. I'm just that weirdo. Anyways, I'll have to shoot him a text. If I can't find a video for him for that day when he texted me that the tow truck driver picked up. So I was like, look, I had to get jumper cables because Big Sexy was all messed up and she didn't have jumper cables, and that led from, one thing led to another. And then I was like, but if you get picked up before I can come and save you, like if the tow truck finally makes its way there, then let me know. But then I couldn't find my way back to him, and I navigationally challenged, and it was just this whole big thing. So anyways, and I drive special. I don't know how much you guys can see, but like I always cock one leg up and stick it on the side, and then like I'll stick my elbow on there. I'm a very unladylike driver because circulatory issues, or I'm stretchy. I don't know. There's something. It's comfy. My dad sometimes drives weird too. I don't know if other guys do it, but I do it. It's like there's just a spot where like if you drive too long, like you're just not comfy. But yeah. So now I don't know what to talk to you guys about. I need to talk to you guys about the fact that I feel like we have a little bit of a cold, which is going to make everyone paranoid because COVID times and stuff. And like I can totally feel it. This guy at the like third house on the corner of Brunswick and Wilkins is looking at me. I get asked if I want to go party a lot, and if you're in Beemore, you know what that means. And I had to have that explained to me. And my husband did not know what that meant whenever we were driving from Franklintown down the road. And like these guys were like, hey, does she party? And he's like, what? I'm like, and I knew at the time because I'd been asked a handful of times, a bunch of times before that. And I was like, roll up the window. He's like, what are you saying? He's like, no, babe. Like, they're talking about a party or something. I'm like, this is why certain tones of people have certain tones of issues, because like they just don't know the lingo, and like nobody will explain it. And like luckily you know, my colorful friends will tell me, and then I get a little bit better. And so, like, as soon as I realized the husband cat was really stupid, love husband cat, love him, but he just doesn't get some stuff. And I didn't get it either. I mean, admittedly, I had no idea until it was explained to me by a couple different people. And so anyways, I was like, no, but thank you. They're like, oh, you're hot though. I'm like, okay, thank you. I'm married. I have rings. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, okay. What are you doing out here? We have houses. Oh, you have houses? And then everybody wants to talk to you because, like, now you're this person that's attainable that has houses, and like they know somebody that's in a bad housing spot. And so, like, then everybody is like, they go back and forth with wanting to be your friend and like thinking that you're out here to mess people over. So it's this weird little thing, and then, you know, I have to like verify that I'm not a scary person, and maybe the YouTube stuff will help with that. I'm not a scary person. I don't have a million houses either. Like, I'm just a chick out here trying to like get the boxes squared up, and then like you guys have all these weird rules and laws that like are totally exploitive, and then just like mess stuff up. So like if there's a board at some point that I could get on to like talk about this stuff and like what I see like streetwise as a Caucasian, in a not Caucasian place, like I'll throw that card out there. I have no problem. I'm a chick. I'm a white woman that's literally had to stand in front of a colorful man, and I'm sure that if I asked, I could get him to verify that information willingly, happily, and very dramatically, because he is awesome. Or not. Like, if you guys might have to put like a little thing on his face, but then like he could be lying, then I could like show you his hands, but then somebody could be like, no, those are like edited hands, because now there's all these like little, I don't know, there's all these little things that the filters. So yeah, I've literally had to stand in between a very strong black man who is very intelligent, and a very stupid white man. And the only reason I bring color into that so vocally is because when I use colorful and I try to change narratives in a positive way where like you have to make that assumption, sometimes things get messed up. And maybe at some point I need to just bring out my, like, Nathaniel keeps poking at me. He's like, you don't have a Facebook? I'm like, I have a Facebook. I have 2 Facebooks. I have my life, before my life blew up Facebook, where I was like living my best little cat life and trying to be a good mommy cat. And then I went silent there. And then I have the one where I was like selling my stuff, and I needed 2 Facebook profiles so that I could sell enough of my stuff to make enough money to get myself away from the house that was super scary, that used to be my haven and my serene place, and that for a lot of children. And yeah, you can say I'm boastful, you can say that I'm stupid, I don't care what you say. Nothing is going to, yeah, I'm not going to even challenge them. Nope. There's been a lot. I have been through a lot, and I will be very angry and agitated and have a documented history that I have been strategically blown up for a second time if anyone comes after me. And the nice thing is that because I do actually care a lot about this city, maybe I'm delusional, I'm starting to make a lot of friends that make me feel a lot more content, happy, and safe. And I'm literally in one of the most dangerous cities in America. It's debatable. And I feel very safe and very loved. And I'm very protective of the neighborhoods that I frequent because I feel very safe and loved. And I feel like our family, as far as, you know, me and my children, I feel like they recognize the struggles that we've been through. And even though we don't look similar, I've been told countless times that I'm family, and I feel that they are family. And which is why if they have a friend that's having an issue, it's like I'm Aunt Michelle and all this other stuff, and then I show up and the family member's really confused. And I'm the invite to the cookout person. Although I haven't really been to a cookout. I've been to other family gatherings, but they don't, Baltimoreans, like, they don't do cookouts that often. Like, John would do cookout stuff. And then Adrian had the grill, and then it got stolen. Ugh. But anyways, you guys mess with me. Like, I have people that care about me, and I care about them. So round 2 is not going to be fun for the people that are trying to attack me, if that's the case. And that's just a boastful statement that I'm going to say. Because I heard that Baltimore is a city of neighborhoods, and it is. And I have a couple of different neighborhoods, and I like my neighborhoods. And I'm just out here trying to do the best that I can, just like the other people. Whatever. You guys get like soapboxing for however long the commuting time is. Normally, Georgetown is like 18 minutes, 15, 16, 17, 18 minutes. But because of the time, There's a whole half an hour commute, but it does allow for me to see like where stuff is working. What is a CMDS? So stuff like that confuses me because it says welcome to CMDS, but then there's nothing else that says anything. And then they even have a sign that says no smoking or no vaping. And walk-ins are welcome. The Fayette House, CMDS Fayette House. I don't know what it is. There's a lot of stuff that I still don't know about the city. I only recently found out about the situation with the shelters and stuff. I don't know anything about the programs. I want to know because I'm really good at like looking at a system and telling you where the errors are. So maybe once I get a little calmed down on stuff, I can start going and seeing some of the stuff. I know the roads are bad. I know the BGE is working really hard to try to update the bad infrastructure that's messing up. I know the sinkhole thing was not cool. It's an alarm. I know that people look at me funny whenever I'm in neighborhoods, and I can like feel it. There was a guy, I met two guys at the gas station, 7-Eleven. It wasn't a gas station, it was just a convenience store. And like one of the guys was staring at me because I pulled my hair down and had to brush it because I had a brush in the back and I don't have any brushes of Patterson because everything's all messed up. Because we literally had to toss our house around, my house around. It's not our house, it's my house. I have a house by myself. I'm a homeowner. And an investment home thing. I have a box. There's my box. But anyways, I don't have any brushes. I don't know where they are because everything got all messed up. Well, there's one of those little pop-up guys, like it's in the RV. And I see if I had somebody with me, then I would be able to show you guys stuff. So like maybe when Crazy Cat Lady's with us, I can get her to get more confident with like showing her face and stuff. But anyways, and then like stuff like this is so cool. Like I love the artwork here, and I'm at a stoplight. No, I don't want to show you tags. But like, look at that. Wait, no, it goes this way. Look at this artwork, guys. Look at that. Stuff like that, like it's cool. And I have to like hurry up and put you guys back. So this city is visual stimulus for me. And Husband Cat gets so... Oh, that one says serenity, courage, and wisdom. Serenity is like one of my words. It's one of my big words. Love it, love it, love it. Ever since I first discovered it whenever I was little. It's one of my favorite words. It sounds pretty. It's nice. It's peaceful. It's serene. Like I love it. I have a thing for words. Certain words. Anyways. My husband Cat gets so frustrated with me because he's like, you would live in Baltimore. You just want to live in Baltimore. You want me to move to Baltimore. I'm like, I don't want to live in Baltimore. But then like, I'm always in Baltimore. And I like both worlds of like the Baltimore versus the Manassas stuff, but I feel like there's more things that I can help. And I feel like if I had more monies and more time and more people, I could do a lot of stuff. Because I think I'm understanding a lot of the bigger picture stuff, and then since I'm an outsider, and then I respect and really care about the anthropological aspect and the culture and the biases and how this was a systemic thing. And yeah, I know there are lots of other people out there that know more about this stuff than me. I am not acting like I am the know-it-all of this stuff. I'm just saying that as an outsider looking in that's inside of it and gets to go out of it and come back and like see that the city's noisy after, like when I go to Manassas, it's too quiet and it makes me uncomfy. And then when I like go from Manassas to Baltimore, it's too loud and it's just so in your face. But like the history and the architecture, and I know a good amount about the stuff. And it's like, I don't need TV because there's all this. I mean, look, I'll flip you guys. I'll break the law a little bit. There we go. Maybe this is why you guys are in the center of this. So this is me driving around in Baltimore. And I feel guilty because now there's tags and stuff. And I feel like I have to roll up my windows because now it feels like you guys are on my hood. But like this is just a grassy area. And it's grassy. I know you guys can't see. Whatever. There you go. Well, like the dirt bike guys, they're cool. They know how to do a lot of stuff. And there's like a parking lot for nothing, but clearly there was a parking lot for something over there on the side. And I wish there was more of a panoramic thing. And like Bruce, I know what the projects are now. Like, I didn't know what the projects were until I got to Baltimore. There's a lot. And there's homeless people, and there's squeegee people, and there's people just trying to like make enough money so that their stampies are enough, like with the money that they make, their stampies will make it. I just didn't know about a lot of stuff. I was very protected and very loved and very disciplined and not disciplined. I don't know. My parents were never cruel. Let's say that. They were not good in certain ways, and they tried their best, and I think they did an exceptional job with everything that they had working against them and their upbringing. And my mommy cat especially considered being a great mommy a job. Not a chore, a job and a responsibility. And so she just filled us with all the love and happiness in the whole entire world that she could. And it was hard for her. She was a teacher, and she had a lot of struggles, and I still don't know how she did it financially. Like, I am my mom's biggest cheerleader on like how she did so flipping well raising her 2 kittens with all these not good things happening around her. And she still managed to find good people and try to give us as much exposure as possible. And so when I come out here and like you guys are like, oh yeah, this is just Baltimore. No. This is the go-between between the areas that I frequent. If I would have started this at Fulton, be more people. I got a house that I play with. I haven't been playing with it for a while. Fulton and McHenry. Yeah. And let's say like, I'm not going to give identifiers in other ones. But the not fancy part of like, I'm not gonna. Fulton and McHenry. I'll throw Fulton and McHenry out there. That's all I'm throwing out there. But I've been in a lot of different spots. I'm not gonna have people come after my houses because my houses need help, and I'm trying to help them. But I'm also trying to raise children, and not be a neglectful wife, and actually like go back to Manassas every now and then. Because supposedly, I'm supposed to live there, but I don't know. It's a whole little jumble of stuff. But then I also go down south, like the real down south, like Biloxi. I go from one B place to another B place. I feel guilty because I haven't been able to see Bruce in person in forever. Like we hadn't seen each other in like a little while, and then we had babies, and now our babies are like 10. And my husband saw Bruce before the last time that Bruce was seen was there. There's crazy stuff. Super, super crazy stuff. But yeah, this is the area. This is not the area, but we're getting like that gas station. I don't go to that gas station. I do not go to that gas station, and if you know that gas station, you know why I don't go to that gas station. Right now, that gas station doesn't look too terrible. There's another gas station on North by the methadone place. I won't go to that gas station either. I won't. And I know that poor guy that owns that thing is like trying his hardest to like do what he can, but he's fighting a losing battle. But he's a small business owner and he's trying. So like I wish that there was a message like, and they maybe the people that are there that are doing their thing, maybe like, there's some stuff going on with that. Like maybe they're not grumpy with him. Maybe like they self-protect each other. I don't know their dichotomy, but I hope there's something. Because he's trying so hard to just be a little gas station. He really is. And that's the kind of stuff that I super duper respect. Small businesses trying to just make it and not forgetting where they came from whenever they turn big. And then we have like the fancy areas of Baltimore that are over policed because they want to make sure that all the fancy stuff stays fanciful so they get the tax money. But then like, I don't know how the whole system of kicking back money to the hoods goes. I don't know. I just see a lot of stuff. And I'm not trying to say that I know everything because I don't. I just want to help. I want to get my stuff in order. I want to make sure my son is good. And I want to start trying to figure out how to help this stuff. Not fix it. Like fix some stuff. Like fix houses. And that's the other stupid thing. Is Baltimore City, even if you're a homeowner, you can't pull permits on your own house. You have to have MHIC. And then I went to the MHIC thing. And then they're like, you got to have a 20K like lean and stuff, and you got to do this, and you have to have like all this formalized training. So like, really, let's systemically keep the person that's been working on houses literally since she was a child with her dad, and he was basically flipping houses, but it didn't have the term flipping houses. I can't prove my experience working on houses. So if me, as a informally educated person, cannot figure a way to say, hey, look, if there was a way to CLEP out, which is basically like test out to show core competency on these things, I would have all the fancy papers. I am being kept down with that stuff. So if I'm having issues with it, what about the other people? You got to go work for some person and like make barely any monies and not be able to support your family in order to prove your formalized experience? Like, that's not cool. So if there's some MHIC people out there that can help that, because like this whole 20K loan, lien, cash in the bank, hold on to it, which I get because like there's bad contractors. If there's a way around that, I'd appreciate knowing, because I'd love to have an MHIC, and I'd love to be able to prove my informal training as formal on paper. And I'd also love to become an electrician. Yeah, I would like, I have a little goal of, okay, I'm gonna make my little associate's credits turn into electrical sciences, so I don't have to do the apprenticeship years, and then try to do the journeyman stuff, and then take the test. I want to be an electrician. I want to be a licensed electrician, because then I'll put out other licensed electricians. And I want to be a licensed plumber. And Texas John probably wants me to be a gas fitter or something, but that requires a lot of upper body strength, and I don't have that. I would be a supervisor for that. Oh man, and I wish I could show you guys how they're demoing this poor building that had this a beautiful mural on it, but nobody cares. Nobody cares. Let's just tear the city down. I don't know. I don't know what the grand plan is for the city, but it makes me sad when I see structures that have been able to withstand, you know, at least 100 years in most cases, or close to it. You know, there's one that's 1940s that we have. And like when I see houses that have withstood the test of time to a certain extent, and then they just get smushed, that makes me so mad. So angry. Because there's so much history that like some of these buildings should have been protected. Like, did you guys know that in slavery times, you didn't just work on the plantation, that sometimes you actually went into the city and there were like places that you would live, so you would have a little bit of freedom away from the bad people, and you would make money, and your money would go right back to them? Because I know architecture, I'm pretty sure that the two of those houses got smashed. I talked to Crazy Cat Lady about that, because it broke my heart when I saw it happen, because I didn't know about it. But I learned a lot from Miss Maxine, because her parents were slaves, according to her, and she was a she said that she thought that she was born into it as well, but I think that she was born into sharecropping. And she was a beautiful woman. And if I would have thought about this, you guys would have had so much knowledge from her. She had so much culture, she had so much amazing ability, and she was just a wonderful woman. And Mr. John, he was amazing. And yes, both of them are colorful. And I miss them every day, and I want to do like a little memorial garden for them on Preston, next to a slumlord's house. Right next to a slumlord's house. I just don't have the monies. I don't have the time or the monies for it. So I want to get my stuff squared up, and then I want to look into the Adopt the Block stuff. Because I think that the community would really like being able to have food available. And I did see that like some of the areas that had like a lot of really bad blocks, that like there wasn't like bad activity, like street activity. It was like they were just dead blocks. They just were. And it was sad, because there's a whole statistical thing where like if so much of the block dies, then the whole block dies. And I don't know, it just didn't work out very well. But they got smushed. But then they're like trying to do some agriculture stuff, so that at least makes it a little bit better. But there's so many people in this city that are homeless. Like, there's enough housing stock where if we took care of it and we strategized the right way, then it would be great. But you have all these like microorganisms, not organisms, you have micro-organizations that are only doing very micro things, like the Love Your Block money. Like, I have to do a 501c3. I need to call those other places that the lovely ladies referred me to, but it didn't seem like anybody wanted to do sponsorship, so I've been making one. And it's just generically as helping those that need help in Baltimore, in the surrounding area. So that way, if somebody needs somebody to sponsor them, I'll sponsor them. And I'll help them with the fancy paperwork, because like, again, if I'm good at that stuff and then it's hard for me, that's not cool. Super not cool. And then I won't say. somebody told me something about it, and then it's like maybe, and then I'm like, I don't know. I think it's just how the system is. So now we're going through one area, and I'm not in a super bad area, but I'm in an area that's slowly going through a metamorphosis. And like this Old Town Mall thing, it's just crumbling. And it's so sad. And I wish that I could like change it where you guys could see, and like this firehouse thing, we're stabilizing. But when we get to the stabilization point, that means it's gonna be the Terry Downey part. And like there's this whole big, I gotta look around, make sure there's nobody here. I don't wanna get a ticket. This whole thing over here. Look at that. We have a mommy walking around with her babies. And I am just waiting impatiently for someone to pop off at the mouth about my children walking around on the blocks where the houses are in levels of disrepair and boarded up. I'm waiting for someone to open up their mouth about how I must be a bad mother because I'm letting them experience that stuff. There we go. You get a little bit better perspective as long as the roads will allow. Because if it's not okay for my children to be out there being on those blocks with the boarded up houses and stuff, how is it okay for anyone else's children? Yeah, just sit on that for a minute. So if you want to come into my comments at some point and grumble about the quality of Patterson, how entitled and privileged are you with your life? Because I can show you pictures of how bad Patterson was when I bought it. But I bought it in cash, and nobody can take it away from me because it is paid for. And that was my primary. I had a house ripped out from underneath me. I had a job and a career and a whole big thing ripped out from underneath me by somebody else's actions. And so you know what my number one was? The second that I had funds, I was going to find the worst house in the best neighborhood that I could afford, because that's the first rule of real estate. And I was going to learn and fix it as I could to make sure that I never had to worry about a roof over my head again. So, if you're gonna come in and grump about the messiness of it, go take a walk off a short bridge. What is the thing? I messed it up. Go take a long walk off a short bridge. There you go. Or pier. I think it's supposed to be go take a walk off of a short pier. Something like that. Because if it's not okay for me, how is it okay for anyone else? And like, we're coming up on the projects. And I didn't know, someone had to explain it. Because I thought it would say projects on it, but it doesn't. It's just, oops. Projects are even embarrassed. They're like, don't show us on your YouTube channel, crazy lady. You're gonna get us in trouble. Well, you know, whatever. I'm trying to give you guys a better perspective. It's just not working. And I'm also going uphill. All right, well, you guys get part of the trailblazer. That's just how it's going to be. But those are the projects. Okay, projects. Can we stop being embarrassed? The roads aren't even that bumpy right here. And I have been profiled in a neighborhood with my dog and my ladders in this truck in the Fulton and McHenry area. I got pulled over for not having a light at like 2 o'clock in the morning. They're like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I have houses. I'm driving around with my dog that's barking at you. I literally have tools and a ladder and all this crap. I am just making sure that my houses are in check. Do you know what kind of neighborhood you're in? Yes, I do, because I am managing a property in this area. And so, yes, I do know what kind of neighborhood I'm in. Thank you, officer, for being concerned about my welfare. And then because I'm me, I always throw out, like, you can breathalyze me, drug test me, hair follicle test me. I don't care. I don't do bad stuff. And yes, they just label it as bad stuff. I know a lot of it's self-medicating, but that's how I label it. And sometimes I hit that curve and I get annoyed with myself. And I want to rent one of those things because I have a house I have to paint. The little zipper thing. Oh no! Part of their roof got messed up at the church. Ugh. And that makes me really mad because it's like a super old church. Yes, I care about the houses like they're people because they take care of the people, even though the people aren't taking care of them. There's that girl, the Greta girl, Gretchen, I don't know, something with a G. She's an aspie too. I don't know if I think she's open about her aspiness. I don't know. She's something. But she's all about taking care of the environment. But like, you know, people can only think about that kind of stuff to a certain extent. Like if their own personal environment is good. And if they don't even have a house or box, like stuff's messed up in their lives, you think they're going to care about climate control? I mean, they're going to care. Like we got to start taking care of things on like a smaller level, like a more grassroots level. Come on. Not to the level of like micro organizations that only, like, come on, a sponsorship, I'm still grumpy about that. A sponsorship is literally just like, I will give you a fee so that you can take the money and dispense a check to me so that I can maintain this project. Like, this is ridiculous. No, we don't do that. We only do our very specific little teeny tiny thing. Okay, well, all the other teeny tiny little people that are doing their teeny tiny little things, like, you're messing up other people. So it's not really that bad. I mean, it was a little bit worse. And I don't want to give you guys access to certain other areas because, well, I mean, the Google people blur out people's faces. This is actually the perfect day for it because not a lot of people are outside because it's wet. And that one says like private property, no resting or something. Homelessness is a big problem. We have some construction. We have a really cool old church. And that's the other thing. There's so many cool old churches here. There's such cool everything here. And this is one of those areas where like the gentrification is coming. So when I first moved over here, well, got a house over here, that whole block we just passed, it's all like rehab. That block was like all board ups. And then there was a sign for like, you know, selling new homes for X amount of money. And I was like, well, that's not going to happen. And then it kept getting more expensive. And then it's like, okay, well now there's probably going to be stuff happening. Because they basically bulldozed this whole area to the right of me. And I can't remember the name of it, but like people in the area would know the name of it. To make all this stuff, and they displaced a bunch of people, and they said they were going to help a bunch of people. Miss Maxine's the only person that I had ever met that they actually did right by, and then she told me that a lot of her other people that were around her did not. She just happened to get the right lady that when they were like, we'll find you a rental for trying, you know, same amount of rent, whatever, programs, try to get you out of here, buy the house from your landlord. And then she was like, can I buy? And somehow grants and loans made home ownership a dream, to go from a dream to reality for her. And she was super, super proud of her house. And this cool building on the right used to be just like all messed up. And it was like this really expensive project. And I still have been so busy that I haven't been able to check it out. But I'm super, super excited to see this thing because I think it's really cool. And this block on the left was definitely all board ups, and you can see strategic investors are getting stuff, but there's still a lot of open shells all the way. This block that we're coming up on right now, when we were looking for Franklin Town, all these guys wanted 30 to 40K for shells. And I was like, yeah, they're not going to get it. And so there's still, some of them are still holding their ground, and some investors are buying and fixing. But it's a slow process. But yeah, we have all this stuff. I'm going to get private. I'm going to do the loop. I'm going to spin around for a second. So I'm trying to, I can see a little bit further than you guys can, I think. But there's board ups, there's house fires. Fire department will give out smoke alarms and stuff like that. They're not the super fancy ones. I have the super fancy ones. The fancy ones cost money, but then people get annoyed with the smoke alarms and they take the batteries out or they throw them out because they get annoyed with them. And so it's just kind of frustrating. Because like there's some trying and then there's some not trying, and then it's just like this area was completely dead and it's doing a lot better. But it's like as soon as an area starts getting a little bit better, then people are like, oh, I can make some money over there. Let me buy some houses, and boot out the people that had to deal with it when it was all yucked up and, you know, made good enough okay. And then they finally improved it enough. And sometimes it's with rentals, and that's not fair because then like the tenants get displaced and all this stuff. And so it's just really frustrating. Very, very frustrating on so many different levels because there's a lot of really good people out here. But, you know, I used to be just like everybody else, and it was like I saw the stuff with the fires, and I was like, why would they be busting windows out and catching stuff on fire? Because I didn't know that the city was messed up and that they were just catching stuff on fire that was already messed up. Flip back over because now I'm a little uncomfy because there's an officer. So if you guys fall, you fall. Hello, officer. The only reason I was uncomfy is because like I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing with stuff, and I don't want to be profiled in this neighborhood and pulled over. As I still getting a lot of anxiety whenever I get pulled over because of PTSD from another area. But overall, I feel pretty comfy over here. And I like being able to feel comfy enough to be me. And I think and hope that other people see that too. Even though sometimes they ask questions that they really legally shouldn't be asking. And then like you can get in trouble for lying to a police officer. And then there's all these things. And that's why like when I know things, I try to tell them to other people. But I also just get very frustrated with a lot of the stuff. And it does drive me crazy that like they can ticket for lights not being on and stuff, but that officer that I just, oh shoot, I think I just, no I didn't roll through a stop sign. That officer that I just saw, he had a headlight that was out. So how come he can go around without a headlight, but I can get pulled over for a turn signal or for just a light that was supposed to be there and illuminated? It's stupid. It is not a back and forth thing. But whatever's. And there used to be a big building over here, and then it went away. Oh, they did this street. Oh, good. So Patterson is gonna, the new street is coming over here. I don't go this way. You guys made me go out of my norm. So we're about to get some new pretty streets, which means that it's coming even further. And it does mean also that BGE is done with their construction and stuff, which good job, BGE. Ugh. And somebody's in my parking space. Alright guys, I hope you have a fantastic day. It was nice talking to you again. I hope you guys like the little bitty tour. There's a lot of guys out here just trying to do the best that they can and trying not to be messed with and trying to deal with not that great of environments. And I mean guys, it's in guys, gals, me's and O's. Still haven't gone over that. But yeah, that's where it's at. Everyone's out here doing the best that they can, and sometimes they cope with healthy coping mechanisms, and sometimes they're poor choices. That's it. So you guys just kind of like appreciate the lives that you have, whether you're out here in the B-more and you're like, you have a grind thing and you're doing well at it, or, you know, whatever. So have a great day. Bye.